Hey swimmers, welcome back to the Swim Vice channel. Today I'm going to be going over Katie Ledecky's 800-meter gold, another amazing race that she absolutely dominated in, and I will be going over some of her swim metrics throughout her race and some technique points that I noticed that stood out. After watching this video, I would encourage you to watch the entire race on NBC or the Peacock platform. All right, let's get into it. So I'm starting this at the second 100 just to see her true stroke count, and where she consistently breaks free for her first stroke is right at about 7.5 meters, and she does this consistently throughout her event. So she's swimming a true 42.5 meters. If you're new to the channel or you've been watching my content, be sure to hit the red subscribe button below. That way you stay notified for new content weekly, and you also show your support for the channel. So I'm not going to play the entire race through. However, you can see here in this freeze frame right at this marker, this is about a 10-meter mark to the next red mark, and you'll see that she'll complete that distance with about 9 strokes within the 10 meters. And even counting her strokes throughout, she was averaging between 41 and 43 on the high end, but mainly 41 and a half. I also count the distance between her starting her turn, so that would be considered another stroke if she were to touch the wall. You will also see here at this red mark, that means that's 5 meters from that point to the wall, and she'll complete that distance in about 5 strokes. So I'll count that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be touching the wall. And so the reason why I count that additional stroke is just to get an understanding of her true distance per stroke, which is incredibly efficient. So you'll see that she breaks free consistently, as I mentioned earlier, at about 7.5 meters. And you'll see Titmus to the right of her always break free slightly earlier. And that, of course, adds as she swims this distance and how she's able to break free further on. So after seeing where she breaks free for her first stroke, and also how many strokes she takes across the pool, given her height being 6 feet, she's definitely holding about 94 strokes per minute, which is incredibly fast. And she's traveling definitely a meter per stroke, a little bit more than a meter per stroke. So she's somewhere around the 57% of her height, which is right in her zone of efficiency, and she holds that throughout. Now I'm going to show the end of the race right at the final 100 and how she really breaks free, and it's because she had enough energy to actually start her stroke further than 7.5 meters. Okay, so here's the final 100. Look where she is breaking free. It's definitely somewhere between 8 and 8.5 meters, so significantly longer than her previous 100s. Also, keep in mind, Titmus, when she enters for her first stroke on this final 100, which should be better than her earlier 100s, you'll see right here where she breaks free. Almost close to the 5-meter line, and then this is where Katie just pulls ahead dramatically. And given that, she's still holding about 94 strokes per minute. Amazing to watch, and so happy for her. Well deserved. And lastly, here's a couple of clips from the semifinals. So you can see her underwater, and right as I freeze frame it, right about here, you'll see excellent body line. Always executed perfectly, completely on the surface. Look at the extension of her arm, slightly downhill, and she has this diagonal timing with her kick. It is a 2-beat, 1 dominant side, 1 passive side. And this is what she consistently holds at 94 strokes per minute, really fast tempo. So her dominant side is her left catch with a right kick. And you'll see here a great catch. You'll see the high elbow out front, and she's keeping that nice rounded catch from her back. That is where she's creating that catch and her hip rotation, all while maintaining her body line extremely high on the surface with minimal drag. I think this was towards the end. You'll see right at this freeze frame, very front quadrant stroke. What I mean by that is both arms are within the front quadrant, both her dominant catch, which is her left, and her right hand is entering almost completely there. And that is maintaining her front quadrant up front with both arms so that she gets as much leverage out front to maintain also the stroke counts that she's been hitting consistently on every 50. And lastly, here's an aerial view of the release of her arms, which is a great point to see. You'll see her right arm exits at around 5 o'clock if her feet were a 6, and in no way, shape, or form is she hugging the side of her body, cramped with the lifted elbow. She's releasing it wide away from her hip, and she also does that on the left side, or the left arm. So if you're watching this video and you've been told to brush your hip with your arm or your thumb, that's going to create cramping from the shoulder. You want to be able to move freely. So I always say 5 to 7 o'clock is a great point of reference to not only be able to move and release the arm freely, but also to increase your range of motion from your shoulder, which is absolutely needed when you swim freestyle, and also to prevent shoulder injuries. Okay, swimmers, if you're watching this video and you've no idea what I'm talking about in terms of tempo or how to get faster or swim efficiently, be sure to click the link below and join my SwimVice program. I have multiple online courses to help you achieve efficiency and speed. You can also go to swimvice.com for more resources to help with your swim practice. All right, swimmers, enjoy your training, and I will see you all next week.